At least you caught it early. Like Keith Malachewski. It's true. Murph, finally actually met you. Yeah. Yeah, all things considered, not too shabby. You know, it's I'm roasting in my room right now, so I'm not very happy on that note. I'm not very happy because I've seen three Philadelphia sports teams in the past 6 months lose in a championship in which they had the lead series wise or game wise. And I'm not very happy because of these two things. To be honest, everything else is okay.
Yeah, as I said in the opening, which I don't think anybody heard, I said instead of "We are War Room Philly," I said "We are hurting."
I mean,
We are
Joe, yeah, it was 3 months, but it's still 6 months is true too.
we are. What else did I say? Not over it. I don't know. I forget what it was, but yeah, we're hurting. So let's all remember that tonight, and let's give everybody a break, as we've all been in on it.
I feel like
Um,
I've aged like 5 years in 100 days.
I have done, this being one of them, two of the shows that I've dreaded least in recent months. Obviously, coming on after the Phillies loss, but this one's different. And why this one is different, we will get into in so many ways. This one is different because, um, in the Phillies case, it was magical. It was a lightning rod, second half. They caught wind, and at the end of the day, throughout most of the season, we didn't necessarily feel like this Phillies team was the best team. You know what I mean? Like this Eagles team through most of the year, a lot of Philadelphia was confident that we had one of, if not the best football teams. And fuck, to lose the way we lost. To everyone out there, yes, you're right. The defense didn't get a stop the second half, and for all those reasons, you know, my argument specifically on the defense is I would say they did get the stop, albeit a bit too late. But they did get the stop with a minute left, minute 30 left, and the Eagles would have had one timeout. They held the Chiefs to a field goal. I just that flag denied Jalen Hurts, in my opinion, the drive and go down and show what he could have done. That flag, because in my opinion, in my heart of hearts, I think Jalen Hurts, I don't think we tie the game. I think we win the game with a minute 30 and a timeout. That's plenty of times for the way Jalen Hurts is playing.
As I mess with my lights.
So if I was it was a pregnant pause. It wasn't because of you, but it's just for me. For me, this loss, it's been maybe the hardest loss for me to get over in my sports career. Certainly post parades.
What's up, Joe Hunter?
Certainly post parades. This is the worst I have felt since 2008. Because at least after a lot of the losses, I fell back on we had that parade. And, you know, even more recently, you had the Super Bowl parade.
You know, I'll be honest. You know what this honestly stings me like? This stings me like 2009, because I felt like we had the Yankees number until we didn't.
Yeah.
Like, I know how that went down. I felt like, you know, the Phillies were riding such a high that I maybe it was that my youth and my hubris, you know, youth and hubris. But it just, I don't know, man. Like, I feel like we had an opportunity missed with this one, I think is what it is.
Andy Reid is responsible for all of my worst football memories. And to that,
Fair.
I will say, and I'm not going to censor myself, fuck you, Andy Reid. I will never wish anything good for you again. It's over. It's over, Andy. It's over. No more Super Bowls. That's it. You ruined my childhood. Joe Hunter's in chat. I put a hole in the wall. I got beat for it. After McNabb threw the interception in 2004. Fuck Andy Reid. With all due respect. We know we don't curse here often, but it's personal, this show. This is a grievance. This isn't a show for entertainment. This is a therapy session between us hosts and chat. By the way, chat, I haven't acknowledged you yet. What up, chat? I see the Joes are here. I see Murph's here. But yeah, then the Sixers said, you know what we need to do? Jalen McDaniels.
I mean, they did do Mac McClung.
It's not even that they just picked up Jalen. It's that they traded Matisse Thybulle for it. They doubled down on the shitty contract that is PJ Tucker, and they said, well, we have this shithead here eating up minutes, so we have to trade the younger, cheaper version of this shithead, and instead we'll have Tucker, who can play a better 4 than Thybulle defensively. Outside of that, Matisse Thybulle is a better defender, and in my opinion, probably basketball player at this point than PJ Tucker in every part of his game. But I want to get in. We can get into the Sixers a little later. I want, especially in the pick, to be off the bat. We got to talk. We got to get into it because I will do everything I can to avoid talking about the Eagles. So at least for the first like half hour of the show, we're just gonna talk. We're just gonna talk the Eagles, and I know some of y'all might want to talk baseball, but we probably even gonna try our best to hold out on that because the way I said this in our group chat, and this is the best thing that I can say. Chat, starting next week, Keith, starting next week,
You did. You said this.
we're a baseball podcast or show or whatever you guys see us as. So next week it's all in. We'll be Phillies with a drip drab of Sixers if they give us a reason to talk about it. But tonight in particular, let's focus on the Eagles. And hey, if you want to be positive about the Eagles in any way, by shape or form, go ahead and do that too. I see something about Jonathan Gannon. We can get into that. So yeah, I guess let's get into it. Keith, I gave my bit on, I guess, the flag. What's your thoughts specifically on it? Sorry, I went on a little. I rarely think about what I'm gonna say before the show. Tonight I kind of thought about it, and I even meant to text you like, "Hey, brace for it for the first few minutes." I forgot to do that, so thank you.
I could tell that was from the heart.
Thank you for letting me go.
I could tell.
What do you think about that? Because let's talk about that, and then we can go into like it. Instead of the good, bad, the ugly, just do like the ugly, bad, and good in tonight's show when it comes to the Super Bowl. So let's talk about the ugly.
I'm good with that. But specifically for this specific play that you're asking me about, I will do the good, the bad, and the ugly out of it.
Oh, you got. Oh, okay.
So the good is I really enjoyed the team's attitude about it. It is what it is. That's not the only thing that ended the game. We had all these other issues. I liked how they owned up to the entire game. I really enjoyed that, and they tried to say, "Hey, listen, we understand. We may not exactly agree with it, but like that, we can't just blame that." And I enjoyed that. That was the good. That's the only good I see out of that.
Yeah, if I can interrupt for 1 second.
Go ahead.
I'm glad the Eagles are allowing me to bitch about it the way I am, and they're not all sounding like the San Francisco 49ers.
Correct.
In my opinion, as fans, we should sound kind of how I am.
Yeah.
They, as players, and it's to your point, it's coaching. That was a well-coached team, and they handled loss with grace.
The bad out of it was the bad out of it was that it really shouldn't have been called that anyway. So you're looking at it, it's within 5 yards, they're jostling, they're doing what they're doing. I just don't agree with calling that in that situation. Maybe if you go by the letter of the law, if you get very ticky-tacky to do, but that wasn't how the game wasn't called, so stick with the game. And I don't care how a game is called. I mean, I do, but I don't. You know what I mean? Like, just be consistent throughout the game. If they were going to be ticky-tacky the whole Super Bowl, be ticky-tacky the entire Super Bowl. Don't do it in the final 2 minutes. And I would have said this if it went against us the other way. Or we were the beneficiaries.
I wouldn't have, for the record. I wouldn't have said it if it was against us, but I will say.
Listen, I'm not saying I wouldn't be celebrating like Kansas City, but I'm saying kidding. Like we got away with one, Yeah,
and again, to your point, Bradbury said he held. I watched the play as many times as I physically could without wanting to do harm to myself. I didn't see it, not in the context of that game.
No.
So
and a lot of talking heads, a lot of pundits also agree with that sentiment. And it's not just Philadelphia putting this complaint out there. It's nice to hear that nationally there's been some that was a pretty weak call, and I'm happy for that. But the ugly out of the situation, Juju Smith-Schuster who can go die in a fire.
Hmm.
I didn't say that. No, I just think that he was extremely immature about the entire thing. I think that he handled it without any class whatsoever. I think that in general, how dare the refs do what they did? Like, that's where I'm at. Like, we still may not have won the game, but we deserve that chance. And they basically said, you know what? No, hey, this game is over. We're going to make sure it's over. And this is why. And I'm just, what is it, a week and a half later? I'm still just despondent, flabbergasted, absolutely just wrecked by what I saw.
Yeah, it unfortunately, and again, we're not blaming the refs, so let's relax. We're talking about one specific play, and we're talking about where we think we could have that game would have went had that play not been called. Um, but but yeah, again, it's that one. It's that particular call is why this game still stings. Because I really think I would have loved to see Jalen Hurts take that ball down the field that last drive. Um, Now let's start backpedaling towards the rest of the game. Um,
Oh, and actually, real quick on the other, that ball was an uncatchable ball to begin with, so it shouldn't even been. So that was my final slot on that. Sorry.
yeah, it was, yeah, and the Devontae Smith one was a catch. Yeah,
Yeah.
um,
All right.
but like no, again, and I see where we're, a lot of people calling just like, for the defensive line. And look, while you're right, that's Patrick Mahomes. That's why he's, one of the greatest. When it's all said and done, probably going to go down as one of the greatest of all time. He does what he does, but absolutely, at some point, someone's got to hit him, and like, you know, Jonathan Gannon certainly didn't have his best game as a defensive
No.
coordinator.
So much so how he got him an interview so he couldn't get on the plane.
Yeah, I don't buy that report, especially when you find out that he was given an offer for more money to stay here. I buy that report a lot more, considering Jonathan Gannon said it at the press conference, and it'd be a weird flex to just lie at your press conference that you could have made more money staying in Philadelphia.
Let me dream. Let me dream.
But yeah, I mean, again, that's if I think that one was how he put that out to make himself look good, every now and then. But look, I see that everybody's happy that Jonathan Gannon's gone, and I don't know that I'm one of those people, to be honest with you.
I'm also not necessarily 100%.
I know this is Philadelphia, and after a loss, especially a big one, there has to be a scapegoat. That being said, that man's defense put up almost a modern day record as far as sacks, in particular with the defensive line. And you could say talent, talent, talent. It still comes down to good coaching in football as well. You can't simply overcome bad coaching in football and get to the level that the Eagles did this year. If you want to say that Jonathan Gannon wasn't good enough, I will not argue with you there. I don't know that I'm happy he's gone. I know that that's a little unpopular
Here's my thing.
in today's.
I don't know if we have a good replacement for him is my problem.
There's
Yeah. This is like the Schwartz conundrum where we didn't know. Yes, we know what his flaws were. We knew what his limitations were. We didn't necessarily love him. And we definitely had some games that he cost us. But getting rid of a very good coach just to get rid of him, it's tough. Because Gannon's very good, I would say.
Again, I just look at I'm not. It's hard for me as a fan to want to defend him right now, but here's what I'm gonna say. Uh, it's when I look at what that defensive line did this year, and yes, they were talented. Um, it's gonna be rough to see to see him go. That being said, I think there are plenty of defensive coordinators out there, plenty of defensive coordinators, and I even think they might just end up with someone better than him. We'll see. There's been a lot of names. Vance Joseph was the most recent name that I saw
I do like that
pop
name.
up on the report. The Wisconsin guy, I think, dropped out. I haven't really. We can like. I'll really break down the defensive coordinators next week. Call me out on it if you will, but I just didn't want to do the research before this show. I wanted this show to kind of just be raw emotions. Also, it just hurt to want to look up anything up until right now. The guy I wanted went to Miami. Well, then he stinks, right? No, it's I don't know who went to Miami today. I can't wait for our CVs to not play. Yeah, I mean I don't buy that. That didn't really. It wasn't Jim Schwartz's defense. They didn't do that every time.
I would say people forget how much they wanted Jim Schwartz out of this town.
Yeah, but that was to me that was rightfully so. I was one of those people too. But Jonathan, like people talk about Jonathan Gannon's defense as if it was Jim Schwartz's defense, and it's just mostly wrong. But yeah, Joe said he never wanted Schwartz gone. That's. I mean, where's he at now? If he was solid, where's he at now? Like, I honestly don't, he could be coaching somewhere. I don't think he is. I'd be hearing about him. He's obviously not in the playoffs. I guess let's check that out. He's he's the Browns. He's the Browns. He just got hired. It looks like, unless this is an old report, it looks like it's January 28th or January 2023. But yeah. Again, I disagree. I think people the things that I don't really feel like talking about Jim Schwartz. This is not really. I don't. You know what? I don't. There's other things to talk about. My life's too short. Too short to talk about Jim Schwartz. Uh, I want to talk about. I want to talk about this and now, not 5 years ago. But yeah. So let's stick back on to this and now. As far as, and again, we'll talk defensive coordinators next week.
Yeah.
I don't care.
So looking at the game as a whole, Hurts had a great game. That's the one thing that I can say. We're going to pull from this game. One shining silver nugget. Jalen Hurts had one hell of a game. Yes, he did lose that fumble. But other than that, he went 27 for 38, 304 yards and a touchdown. He ran 3 more touchdowns in with 70 yards off of 15 carries. I mean, he showed that he belongs on the big stage. And that's awesome. That's what you want. It's going to put the Eagles in an interesting situation moving forward with cap and things like that, but that's a good problem to have.
That's not next year's problem. That's the best thing that you can remember. No matter
that's exactly
what
right.
deal he gets, it will not kick in until after next year. So next year, you're kind of in a run it back situation where you're still going to have that cap leeway when it comes to the quarterback. So I hate to say it, but next year is almost like a Super Bowl or bust year. I think Howie is going to go out there and make the adjustments. But that's right now. I guess I'm sorry, I got tangled. Right now, Howie's his first task is to bring in a defensive coordinator, which again, we can bring that back up. Let's just talk about the Super Bowl first. because again, I know we just want to avoid it as much as possible, but especially for us, we're here for an hour a week. Let's talk about it as much as we don't want to. But yeah, again, and now as far as the defensive coordinator in this Super Bowl, I agree to with like that he didn't make the adjustments. He got burned by the wide receiver thing. What, 3 times? At least twice for touchdowns. I think he got burned for it at least 3 times though, where the wide receiver stopped mid play. You'll see teams copy that next year too. Just like you'll see teams copy the butt push unless it's ruled illegal. But it's, yeah, it was just it was not, there was no adjustments. Your defensive line, which I have touted a few times, didn't get there. Whether that be their fault, whether that be Gannon's fault, it's someone's fault. It's someone's plural fault. But yeah, it was a bitter pill to swallow. I tell you that. Again, like you said, the thing with Hurts, absolutely. He showed up, and this loss can kind of go one of two ways. He could take it like, oh well, I played my best, blah blah blah. But it doesn't really seem that way. It seems like, and hopefully, the solace at the end of this road is that this loss kind of fuels the fire that really propels this Eagles not on a 1-year run, but on a multiple levels kind of run. We want to be the next Chiefs. We want to be the next Patriots. It was cool to win one, but why not really look like a legitimate team? And Jalen Hurts seems like he's that competitor. Nick Sirianni seems like he's that competitor. The two guys that you want it most from seem to have it. What do you think about Nick Sirianni's coaching performance in that game as a head coach in general?
I think in general he did pretty well. I mean, this is his second trip to the playoffs. He went very deep. He was consistent all year. He did make adjustments on the offense. I mean, on offense, you're looking at it, whether you want to say Jalen Hurts managed to do what he did, on his shoulders, or Sirianni's, or combo of. I mean, 35 points in the Super Bowl. It's not a bad performance. Like, as far as the offense goes, you can't have too many complaints. Yeah, they stalled out a couple times. That third quarter obviously kind of really hurt when you only scored 3 points. But other than that, you went into the half 24-10, right? Or 24-14. Yeah, I'm not unhappy. Obviously, I can't be thrilled because we didn't win, but I think he still did enough that the defense does something. We should win.
Should Nick Sirianni take any of the blame for the defense? He's the head coach, not just the offensive coordinator.
You're right, and he does. He takes some of it, which is why I can't give him an A in the Super Bowl. I think no matter what, it's kind of like that quarterback conundrum. It's never your fault if you win, but it's always your fault if you lose type deal. Whether you like it or not, you're going to shoulder some of that blame just being the head coach, just being the quarterback. But we know that, players got to play and your defensive coordinator's got to coordinate. Head coach has got to coach them up too. So there is a little bit of blame on him. It's sprinkled around. That's maybe that's why it hurts so much. I can't blame one person.
Yeah, I just posed the question. I don't necessarily know the answer. As far as blaming Nick Sirianni for any of the defense, because we obviously know his game is more the offense, but he doesn't play. He doesn't, he's not the play caller. So again, it's just the question. In my opinion, again, I saw the intangibles shine between Sirianni and Hurts, even through the loss. Um, I still roll with them as my guys, as our guys.
Absolutely.
Um,
Absolutely. Not even a question.
I think that these tweaks in the head coaching or in the coaching staff, I think are they could pose. I think in the long run could be favorable. Um, I forget his name off the top of my head. Give me 1 second. Um, I forget the guy's name. He's our quarterbacks coach, Brian Johnson.
You know, to say
Um,
Brian Johnson.
I think that there's actually a good chance that the Brian Johnson. It's weird how we're focused so much on Jonathan Gannon going, but we in theory lost our play caller in Shane Steichen, and we haven't seemed to be focusing. I mean, maybe we are. When I say we, I guess we as a show up until now, I have literally been in silence as far as sports talk goes up until this moment, or anybody else that has forced it upon me in real life. So correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe there's a lot going on out there on the airwaves and in the real world, but it feels like through social media and what I do see, it's more on the defensive end of things. But Brian Johnson, I do think Brian Johnson has a chance of coming in, and dare I say, not being a downgrade, but like potentially being an upgrade. And again, not to throw Shane Steichen under the bus, but Brian Johnson does have a very good rapport with Jalen Hurts throughout Hurts' career. So maybe it's just somebody. If anything, I think it'll stay the same. I don't think we'll lose out much, and maybe that's why people aren't really talking about it as much because it's not really the sexy story. Because it is Nick Sirianni's offense and it's his game plan. But I almost think that Brian Johnson could have like a little bit more of an instinct of what Hurts wants to do, and that'll be interesting
Yeah.
to see.
It'll be an interesting wrinkle to see for sure.
And again, it's not like nothing set in stone that he's your coordinator. I just kind of think that he is. I think that's the
I
one you
mean,
want to go in house,
he definitely
and
does.
maybe
If he's not, I would be stunned.
yeah. And again, um, I'm looking at things, and this is just from. It looks like it's CBS News, just off of Google. Denard Wilson was another guy that he's a defensive backs.
Yeah, he'd be defensive coordinator.
So no, this is. Oh no, it says for vacant coordinator. Okay. All right, you're right. Thank you. Um, but yeah, so yeah, he's one that could be a defensive line and or defensive coordinator. And I did have other ones for defensive coordinator. Vance Joseph obviously was the big one.
Which, by the way, Denard Wilson was the one I was talking about in house in chat.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I don't know if I talked about that in our chat. I talked about it in a different chat.
Not sure.
Apologies.
No, in fact, I just see that we got a few things from chat. I see Russ in chat. Not sure if you saw, but yeah, I saw that Hurts got hit in the face mask, and again, it's like, look, I don't need to go back and pick apart all of the bad calls because then it feels like we're bitching about referees.
There are plenty of them though.
My big thing is that last one. During the time and everything, you robbed Jalen Hurts of his moment. And I truly believe in my heart of hearts he doesn't even tie the game. He wins it. A minute 30 and a timeout. Plenty of times for Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, and Devontae Smith to go get it done. But yeah, I did see that. Would have liked to see, this is still from Russ, would have liked to see Gainwell get a chance. Hold on, chat, just move down. Would have liked to see Gainwell get a chance on the last second kick return. Whatever. I can't go back to the kick return thing. That's like, I wasn't asking for a miracle. I just wanted Jalen Hurts to have his moment. Um, Andy gave Nick a lesson. I disagree. I think if anything, Andy gave Jonathan Gannon a lesson, but it didn't. I never got the feeling that. And correct me if I'm wrong. If anyone else feels this way, I never felt like, oh man, he is out coaching Nick Sirianni. Maybe Jonathan Gannon and his defense, but yeah. Nick still doesn't have me sold. I guess that's fair. I don't know what more you need to see other than like it to keep happening. But 2 for 2 playoffs. You had you didn't win a game in the playoffs last year. You took that and you took it to a Super Bowl loss.
Like I said in chat to him, I said I don't know what else he could do other than win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't
Like what? He's a good
know.
coach.
One thing that bothered me was clock went from 4 to 6 seconds. So yeah, it'll be again. It's I guess for anybody else that still has anything to say about Sirianni and Hurts, it'll be that they need to do it for more than 1 year, which it's fair to say. And yeah, we do need to see that it's more than a flash in the pan. That being said, for me, what I saw is again, it goes to the mentality thing, how they took the loss. I think that they are hurting. I think they're still just as hurt, if not more, about the loss than we are, which is how you want your athletes to feel. AJ Brown's another one. Like, you look at his stuff on social media, he's not happy about it. So yeah, it's
Hey,
certainly
maybe next year they can get the merchandise situation situated too.
not a,
So apparently,
not a fan of those gray jerseys.
I hate them. I think they're the ugliest thing.
I like the gray jersey.
All right,
I might even still buy it. That being said, I should have been able to have a choice to buy more than
correct,
just that.
correct.
It
That's why I
was
hate it. It's not because it's ugly. I hate
this
it because
is
it's all I can have.
why you don't allow corporations to become monopolies.
Mm-hmm.
Fanatics has nobody to compete against,
Yep.
so they can do whatever they want. It's the Ticketmaster. It's. I mean, go capitalism. So it's
Once they
just
sold out of green jerseys, like we'll see. Like no, like win or lose, Philadelphia will buy those green jerseys. That's the crazy
I
part
can
about it.
remember in 2004, you could get green, white, black. You could get them in pretty much every. You could go to
Yep,
Modell's, Dick's.
everywhere.
You go to several different places in the Franklin Mills Mall, which is where I skateboarded to go and get them at. But yeah, it to me, like in particular too, if you're perhaps looking for a women's jersey, um, it's even harder.
Yeah.
So yeah, problem is Fanatic. I don't buy that. It's not the problem that Fanatics killed the sports outlets. It's that the NFL sold their licensing to Fanatics. It's that the MLB sold their licensing to Fanatics. When you sell all of your licensing rights to one place, and then they don't, it's the same reason why Madden sucks. NFL sold their rights to
No
EA
competition.
Sports. They didn't have to compete against EA.
There's
They
no
didn't have to
incentive.
compete against 2K anymore. So they make the same shitty game every year. And now you're going to have the same shitty shirts every year. It's not a China thing. It's an America thing. It's I'm sorry. Like, if we want to
You say an American corporation is the one that did this.
like so and again, it's Dick's doesn't have anything because they have to purchase from one person. One person can price gouge their price. You guys can look all this stuff up. I'm not spitting conspiracies. I know.
No, that's just straight up fact.
But Rally House does have some good stuff, and they're smaller. But Yeah, it'll be cool to see Kelly Green, I guess, as an alternate, as an
Yeah,
ARB
but we lose
again.
Black.
Uh, I don't think that's the case.
I think it's only one alternate, isn't it?
Think about some teams. They got like 4 jerseys, 5.
I think you can only have one alternate helmet, though.
That's
So I
fine.
think you say goodbye to the black helmet.
Totally fine with that. Totally fine with that. I didn't like. I wasn't a huge fan of the all black uniform. I
liked it.
I did like the black helmet, black pants, white jersey.
Okay.
The all black, while it looks good, I need some green out there for the Eagles, and I always thought that the green helmets like stood out off the black uniform, black on black. But I don't think Kelly Green is ugly. I just think Midnight Green is better.
So do I.
And it's just
That's what we won our Super Bowl in. So
it's also what we've lost 2 in now, Keith.
it's fair.
It is
But
officially.
it's the only one we've won it in.
It's officially a fair point. I actually thought about that when prior. I was like, man, we've all 3 Super Bowls because I wanted them to wear white.
What about the 1980s? What color did they lose in?
I don't know. I wasn't alive. I think it was white.
Joe Hunter was alive.
Called out. No, I'm just kidding. Lost the Super Bowl in Kelly Green. Yeah.
Okay.
So we have the 10th pick and the 30th pick. That's true. That's the next. So as far as Eagles talk goes from here on out, moving forward, that'll be what we start talking about. It's no, I guess it's the 31st pick, right? Because the Eagles.
Yes, because the Dolphins forfeited their pick.
Okay. I got you.
But technically, it is the 30th pick.
Okay. Good luck. Joe's on it too in chat. Joe's on it too. I got a sip of water. Give me a second. I'm so dried out, chat. Sorry, the allergies.
He needs to get moist.
I've had an upper sinus thing since New Year's. I hate this weather. We did not get a winter this year.
Nope.
It's 40 degrees today. It'll be 70 tomorrow. My body can't take it.
I'm mad. I'm going to the mountains this weekend. I finally had somebody who's going to go and ski with me after 8 years of this trip. And it's going to be like 70 and 60.
You got to go to Canada to get some snow.
I'm so mad.
Eagles need to trade the 10th pick. I'm not going to refute. Just I would like to know what would you want for that 10th pick. I'm not even going to refute it because I just want to know what you want.
I'm going to need it first next week, or not yet next week, next year.
Draft capital later. Okay, I don't like that, but I guess you mean like when you say later. Okay, hold on. Let me stop. First of all, you know me. If that's what you want, we'll talk about it. Like draft day. But you mean like to get a first round and like maybe a third, second? Yeah. I never, not with a top 10. I would rather, if you want to move that, do it with the second one. But again, we'll get more into draft picks and stuff.
I'll take a little bit later in the first, and I'll take another first the next year from that team. That's what I'll take.
If I'm trading 10, I want it for an NFL player, because I want NFL ready talent, which is why I don't necessarily want to just trade 10, because 10 you have a pretty good shot of getting a pretty good player. Now, again, this is why I want to wait. This is more of like a draft day thing, and we'll be live. Eagles are picking 10. We'll go live.
We'll be live.
We'll do a whole first round if I have to. I'll stream for 3 hours. I'll play Pokemon during the stream if I gotta. But I got a frog in my throat. In my opinion, I think that you only trade that 10th pick if a quarterback's on the board and you're getting like people are like banging the door down.
There might be.
And if that's the case, oh hell yeah. Again, everything has its time and place. Only a Sith deals in absolutes. I've always seen myself as a bit of a gray Jedi.
Time.
I've always seen myself as a bit of a gray Jedi, and I don't mean old. I mean work in kind of my own realm. The gray Jedi. What's your thoughts on the gray Jedi lore, Keith? Do you know anything about it? Do you know
I'm the
any?
wrong person to talk to about this. I have very strong
I started
feelings.
seeing your face, and I was like, Keith doesn't actually know what the gray Jedi
No, I
is.
do.
It's a little bit video game lore. Oh, so wait, you do and you just don't like it, or?
I think the great Jedi are the libertarians of the political system here in America.
We'll see. I can.
They have some great thoughts, but it makes no sense
They're
whatsoever, and
they're
they're fence
idealists.
sitters.
They're
They're yeah.
idealists. You could say that about some people on my side of the spectrum as well.
Yeah,
Like
I would agree.
the Sanders left, if you will. But yeah, yeah, that's fair. I like that. I go.
I like. I am very shocked. I like the. If I'm taking it in a vacuum, I love the idea of them. They're fantastic in it. But it's the real world application of my brain that just goes, damn idealists.
We've lost everyone. We've lost everyone in chat.
That's right.
But they're like you're mixing Star Wars and politics. We're watching the prequels.
That is a fair statement as well.
Which I think that's where the gray Jedi lore comes from too. But it's like
Probably.
video games and I digress. Basically, gray Jedi's do what they want, for lack of a better term. In really simple forms. But all right, we digress.
They hand pieces of paper to people that say, "I know more than you."
I think that again we'll keen more into draft day come draft day, but I don't want to look forward yet because again we'll get there. But Eagles Chiefs opening night maybe. I don't know. Like, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I just want to be sad about this loss still. Yeah, it's moving forward. It's tough, but obviously now it's the best thing that we can do. And that's as a show. That's what we'll start to do. In the weeks coming, and next week it'll be a baseball show, and we'll be talking Phillies. I was trying to find. I got a Red October headband that I really wanted to. Was going to match this shirt a little better. I couldn't.
I
Find
was
it,
this close to wearing my Phillies headband, and then I saw you with it on, but I already had such a difficult time trying to get ready as it was. I was like, I'm not even gonna try to find this.
I just figure I'm hoping to get this haircut very soon. It is so damn long.
I literally just got mine cut today.
I'm getting towards like pandemic level long. So
I was bordering on that myself, and you know me, I start to get the curls kind of coming up.
Yeah, I got.
And it started to have that, and I was like, nah.
So I'm just like, you know what? If my hair is this long, I'm gonna rock the headband. So
well, your hair's that long. I think you legally have to rock the headband.
I mean, yeah. So, that's I love this. That's my favorite. All of the I hate to say it, but the boomer strats on social media. So the script before the game was that the Eagles won the game, right? That was what everything, all of our conspiracies were before. But then wait, as soon as the Eagles lose, those same people go, "See, it was scripted." So okay. That's as much as I want to go into that. XFL is awesome. That's as much as I want to go into that. Joe, I love how much you love football. You watch XFL, you're going to watch the USFL or whatever it's called. If they bring back AFL, you'll love that. I appreciate how much you love football. I can't. Once the real football is over, I've honestly, you guys probably know, I've been even down. And this isn't because of I haven't even been watching as much college football in the last couple of years.
Just saying something for you.
Virginia Tech has been butt.
Oh, there you go. That's exactly why.
Oregon was ruined by Chip Kelly. So I haven't had I still like to bounce around and watch quarterbacks, but it's been rough. It's been rough. Love the rule if you were trailing in the last 2 minutes, you can go for it on your own. 25, 4th and 15 instead of a... Yeah.
It's a nice man on second rule.
It's That's cool. Where does Carr go?
Tampa. Think he goes to Tampa Bay.
That's a good call. I don't see Tampa making that move. I'm just pulling up teams because I just need. Oh, I could see him going to the Jets. I could see him going to the Jets. I could see him going to the. You having an headphone issue? Is it me or is it him? I could see it going to the Chiefs. I could see him going to the Panthers. See it several things. Yeah. Sorry, I don't
I
know.
don't know what happened, but I can't hear anything.
Can you guys can still hear me, right? Hold on, let me see. My mic's still up.
All right, we might be in business.
Oops.
No.
Testing, testing, testing. All right.
It's all right. Hey, just finish up. I'll hop in chat.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, we were gonna start wrapping up, I guess, somewhat soon. Yeah, I mean, oof, now it's a little awkward angle on here. Hold on, let me fix chat. Oof. We'll roll with it. Yeah, Keith's gone. He couldn't. I don't know what happened. So he's gone. We're gonna wrap up the show. Yeah, I guess we'll start getting in the final thoughts, and we'll move into it. We are coming up to an hour as it is anyway. Yeah. As for, I forget what we were talking about. We were talking about Carr. Yeah, I don't think Carr is gonna go to a good team. Like I don't. I think a bad team will give it like Jets or Panthers, maybe even Commanders. Like I think a bad team is gonna give him stupid money. So we'll see. I'm gonna try something real quick. No, that won't work. Great to have each team have a long run and lead us. Yeah, it's super. We got Keith back.
Yeah, now I can hear you
Testing,
right.
testing. It is nice, all things considered. The circumstances maybe not nice. It is nice to be able to just kind of bounce back and forth right in from the NFL season into the MLB season, and we still got, I guess, some Sixers hope. Joe's, are you still high on the Sixers, Joe? I mean, people were, me again. I can't take the bait as far as the Sixers go, but I'm here. I'm watching pretty much every game. I'm gonna be watching tomorrow. Do you think Wentz will ever start in the NFL again? Yes, but not for a long period of time.
True.
Like, I don't know that he'll ever be a starter, but he'll probably get some shots here and there. Can't really call the Jets a bad team. That's a pretty good point. Can't really call the Jets a bad team. Almost made the playoffs with a bottom three quarterback. That's a pretty good point. When I mean by bad team, I mean like bad organization. Albeit maybe the Jets are on the mend. They have been a bad organization for a long time. And I could see them wanting to, instead of making the right moves, kind of pulling a Browns and being like, that we're just going to go and get a quarterback and we'll get whatever one we can, and it's Derek Carr, give him the most money. I don't believe in Derek Carr on record for the, so that's why I think he fits for a bad team. So I never really gave Joe Douglas a lot of credit when he was here. I gave Howie the credit. It might have been an unpopular opinion. Sixers are going to continue losing the champion. The sad thing is, I would take that with the Sixers. The Sixers have let me down so much that and then a championship loss is it would be a welcome comfort. I don't know what that says about me, but I haven't seen an NBA final since 2001. I was in friggin' 6th grade. I was at St. Anselm's. I was in Catholic school. Like I seriously, I will be just as hurt afterwards, but I will be heartbroken, but I will sign up right now for a Sixers NBA Finals loss. I will sign up for it right now. I want them to win it, but man, I think this team's going to lose in the second round again. And you guys know I'm not the stereotypical Philadelphian when it comes to the Sixers, but man, they have beaten me into it. I'm watching them every game. I get excited when they win. I get pissed when they lose, but I can't, for the life of me, get that gear going again. At least not yet. Maybe once the playoffs start, I'll go into super rah-rah mode, but I can't right now. Sixers lose to the Durant Suns. God damn you, Joe. Do you think Cox? I think Cox, Kelsey, and Brandon Graham are all back next year. Keith, what do you think on that one?
I think they're all the ones that'll probably be willing to take the lower hit money wise to make another run, whereas somebody like Hargrave's going to go make his money.
Yep. And so your Hargrave's going to make his money. Yeah. Okay. That you slipped that one in on me at the end there.
I did.
Man. That's fair, I suppose. And yeah, Joe, I hope you continue to be right. That's all I'll say. Because you were negative, and you were, I guess, right, and hopefully you're positive. And you could say that they're gonna win then. Ben Simmons got his wish. He forgot the order. He just forgot the order.
That he ordered from Wish. As in the bad company. The knockoff, the Bobo company.
I got you. So yeah. I don't know any other. Getting some pretty good final thoughts questions we've got in chat.
Yeah,
it's been a hot final thoughts subject. Keith, what are your final thoughts?
My final thoughts.
Give me. You can, even if you got one for like each team. Give me a little whatever you got.
Man, I just need some positivity for my teams.
Here's what I'll say.
I know.
Can I be that positive sunlight for you, which is rare for me?
I feel like you're gonna say what I think, which is the big red hope that we have.
Next week, we're a baseball podcast.
It's true.
Next week we're I don't know why I keep saying pod. We're a show, not really a podcast, but
we're both.
Next week, there is a ton of positivity, and we're going to start talking about it in the Philadelphia Phillies. You signed one of the best players in baseball this offseason. I don't understand that I know we here, like I know this chat bar, you and I, Keith, our inners, I know we get it. I don't know that, like, the people that just hopped on in October, I don't think they understand just how good this Trey Turner guy is.
Dude, Trey Turner's insane.
And what I
will
say is some of those people that did hop in October that were like, this Kyle Schwarber guy, I don't know that he's elite. Well, you got your leadoff hitter this year. And Topper has called him the leadoff hitter on a couple occasions already. So
Listen, that puts Schwarbs in the perfect place, which is 2-hole.
yeah, you're gonna have, especially to start the season, he'll probably be your 2-hole hitter.
Yeah, I love
But
that.
it is there's your positivity. If you need it, just remember. And most people love the warm, weather. So there's your warm baseball thoughts, the whole nine. Um, so
Yeah,
yeah, so that's exact. There's your positivity.
I like it.
But yeah, let me just hop back in the chat real quick. Um, Phillies, Union, and Stars win their champion. I don't know who the Stars are, but word. When I look up in the sky, I see the Stars. Sixers will be the fourth team in the playoffs to kill us. Um, again, I call me what you will. I sign up. I sign up right now for a Sixers playoff loss, or not Sixers playoff, a Sixers NBA Finals loss. Where else we got in chat? Flyers just playing blow. Can't watch them. Yeah, iTunes. I've watched, and I'm not saying this to put on a bit. I have watched several more Colorado Avalanche games this year than I do the Flyers. Shout out to our friend Steve Clark, who hooked me up with an ESPN Plus, password to use, so I can get a lot of games, and I have been watching them. But yeah, the Avs, we'll see.
Yeah, that's worse than blowing, actually.
We'll see. The Flyers are just to the point where they're.
Yeah, they're just mediocre. Like, that's worse than blowing.
Yeah, I don't even like. I'm not even mad about the Flyers anymore. I just don't even want to give them my time.
Yeah,
So that's the problem. Yeah, you're absolutely.
yeah, you're right.
So yeah, we want. Speaking of negativity and how we didn't want it, that was so anything else? Anything else?
No, that's it, man. I
Well,
think that wraps it up for our week.
I think it is time to put a bow on this pretty little show. And with that, I'm Anthony Pinto.
And I'm Keith Malachewski.
And we are out of here.